possibilities. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything that binds me. This rapture has my body. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Whisper in my ear, then I'll take you down tonight. Crystal waterfall. Now you're standing tall. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything that binds me. This rapture has my body. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. This rapture, that's my body. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
He's on the board.
Welcome to the day before the storm. This is the part of Florida I can't stand.
It's the anticipation.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you brace up, you steal, you buy all the paper toilet from
Don't
Costco.
say it.
No more
Don't
toilet
say
paper
it.
in Costco.
Don't.
And then the thing goes away.
Don't
It goes
say it,
north,
don't
it
say
goes south,
Be
it
grateful.
goes to New York. It goes well.
Be grateful if you don't receive.
Yeah,
the
but
brunt of
I've
the
been
storm.
preparing. I threw my furniture in the pool. I can't get it out.
You've been preparing for years.
I know.
Hopefully not. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be as minor as it can possibly be on this side of Florida.
So I have a lot of people who were texting me early this morning because everybody's deathly afraid of what happened on the other side.
Yep.
Now, you were warned. People have been warned. There ain't too many warnings on this side.
Because it happened so fast.
They're calling it a tropical depression until it hits the beach. then it's supposed to be a 1. That's what's happening here. They don't know what's happening because the water change has made it very unpredictable.
It's a whole different season, it seems, as
I'm leaving.
before. Where are you going?
I don't know. I can't go to Puerto Rico. I can't go to New York because this stupid thing is going up north. This is like the most craziest time.
All I can say is happy election day, everyone. I hope everyone went out and they voted one way or another, whether you went in person, you mailed it in, you dropped off your ballot. Everyone should have the opportunity to express their opinions and their right to vote. I know you went this morning.
You know,
I
you
dropped
can
mine off.
Yes.
He's saying switch to 5 and 6.
Okay.
Wow, what is going on? Switch to 5.
I didn't do anything.
You never do, but it's always you.
You
never do, but it's always you.
We're really going to go into therapy after this.
Is
show
this
today.
better? Ask him, is this better? Oh, so something's definitely going on with through 1 and 2. It's like the whole house is jinxed.
All I can say.
I forgot what I was going to tell you.
I said you and I are going to therapy after this show, I guess.
No, it was
Hurricane
something.
stress.
So anyway, so we're going to have a hurricane party.
We were talking about voting is what we were talking
Oh,
about.
that's what it is. Do you know you can write your name for governor on this line?
Is it right?
Do you know that? I put my name. I get 1 vote.
You got you.
Yep.
That's one less vote for somebody else.
That's right. That's the way I planned it, strategically.
What did I say to you today? You said you didn't like either candidate for one of the races, and I said, well, you got to vote for the lesser of 2 evils because one of them's going to get it. So you may
I
as well-
voted for me.
You voted for you
Yep. And I'm going to vote for me for president. I think we should start my campaign early this year.
again.
I do it every year, and I lose.
Well, we got a trophy right over there waiting for you, apparently. So we're going to get into that also.
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff going on in the
We
studio
got some
today.
good friends here today.
All right, so let's bring over.
We have to check in on our weather with our longtime friend and meteorologist, Linda Summers of Florida Severe Weather. She's going to be joining us from her home setup situation. She's actually recovering from surgery. Otherwise, she would be here in studio with us.
She actually goes like this, and the winds blow
I gotta
away.
tell you, the most beautiful meteorologist I've ever seen.
No lie to that.
And I got to tell you, she is always accurate.
We ain't seen her in a minute. It's
It's
been
been
like
a
2
while.
years.
It's been a while. So
COVID,
let's
right?
bring Linda over, and she's always accurate. So I love following her. How you doing, Linda?
Hi! Oh my God, it's been so long.
Linda, my heart.
And she
scared
always
me.
looks so beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Busy.
Are
my
you are you gonna predict we're gonna be okay with this storm or what?
We're gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. It's nothing like Ian, on the other side. I mean, we're gonna be okay. And storm surge is the only thing I'm more concerned about for Vero Beach area and Bathtub Beach because we have the full moon on top of the surge. And the way that system is setting up, there's a lot in advance of the center of the circulation. So it's pushing and pushing. That concerns me a little bit more than, we're going to get the winds, the outer bands, some tornadoes, heavy rains, all that's pushing in. I'd say even by 6 o'clock tonight,
Wow.
we're going to start feeling along like very outer bands. We're going to start getting some bands of storms coming around from, say, Treasure Coast to Miami. Actually, it's going to be the lower part. But that's just, those outer bands wrapping around because she's finally becoming tropical. She's pulling in her tropical characteristics finally. So
How did
we're
this
gonna
just
start-
happen? It was so quick, right? Where there was a depression, there was a little bit of stuff out there. Next thing you know, I'm on the phone yesterday morning, and she says, this woman client says, I can't come see you this week. Nicole's here. I said, what? She said, there's a hurricane. I go, since I left my house 15 minutes ago? She says, yeah. Since you left your house, there's a named storm, and I'm not leaving the house for another week. So we all quickly checked our phones. What happened?
A lot of people said that too. I was preparing my folks since last Wednesday, so I kind of was ahead. And even my boyfriend at the time was like, but no one's talking about it. I said, they will. I said, I'm always first. I'm trying to be.
You're
That's like
always
my own
first
little
to
word.
share the information, which is true.
Yeah, I like to get it out there. I don't want to freak anyone out or anything, but I just wanted them to be prepared because I knew everything was setting up. I call it the tropical soup. So all the ingredients were setting up for this area that I was watching north of the Hispaniola, which is where it was starting to develop. But this is a little funky one because of the shape of the storm, the way that she's pulling winds more from the ocean and from the higher altitude, which was making it that subtropical characteristics. It's a little different. So when Mother Nature's a little different, I like to, not be so, it's going to be like this. I knew we were going to get a storm. I knew it was going to be heading towards the East Coast. And I've been saying from, basically St. Augustine south, prepare, because I knew it was going to be somewhere along the east. I didn't want it to go across the state only for Fort Myers and what they've been through.
Well, a lot of people are talking about that. Here we are in November. We're in November, right?
Yeah.
We're in November, and we're still getting these stupid hurricanes. So, and normally doesn't it trend with the water temperature, the ocean temperature?
Yeah.
So where the hell is this coming from?
It's rare. I mean, we have had storms December 1st. It happens, but the water's warm. I mean, it's hot out there. So we're still getting summer temperatures. So we're not really cooling down the ocean any. We're not cooling down any. So it's perfect breeding ground right now. I know people who might have been poo-pooing her, the storm, are going to open their eyes by tomorrow. By late tonight and tomorrow, she's going to start wrapping around and being right now. It's occurring right now. I'm constantly looking at the radar because it's spinning and it's pulling in now the moisture as it storms. She's getting her act together. So,
and I heard that this storm, the center, is 380 miles wide. 380.
That's what I'm saying. It's more huge. Yeah.
It's big. So the area that it's going to cover. Now, is this a fast-moving storm? Because 2 days
right
they
now,
said it would be out of here.
Well, it's only moving 9 miles an hour at the moment because it's being suppressed by what's guiding it westerly. So that front that's moving down and suppressing it, when that kind of pulls away, is what's making it kind of go a little bit north, a little to the north. If that pulls away quicker, it goes north faster. If it pulls away slower, it more or less into the Palm Beaches. So that little glitch and that little change in that trough that's setting up will determine how quickly it scoots up underneath. Because after it scoots up underneath that trough, it starts to make its approach towards the state. Then you got the approaching front. That's going to pull it straight up. That'll move quicker then, because it'll be kind of going around that curve. Once it gets around that curve, it'll be pulled up much quicker.
He's not very happy right now, Linda, with that information.
I'm sorry. Every time you see me, it rains.
Yes, I was about to say that. Every time I see you, there's a storm. Forget about the rain. There's a storm coming.
So right now what we're looking at, the Palm Beach is all the way north.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Now,
she's going to
even
make a turn up to the Carolinas inland, though, not outward. So it's going to make a right-hand turn. What the hell is that all about?
Because of that front that's coming down, it's going to get caught up under that front line. Say this is the state of Florida. I don't know. I can't see. I'm kind of backward on the monitor. So the front's actually coming from the other direction, but it's coming down. It'll come and get caught up under that and be pulled up in the cold front. So actually it'll become one with the cold front that's going across and up to the northeast.
All right. So
that's
what's your
how it's
recommendation? What are you thinking?
I am not playing with this one because even Tropical Storm Wilma was a tropical storm and it had a lot of tornadoes and such. And we saw with the energy of just Ian coming and those outer bands and how many tornadoes came.
True.
So now we're talking coming off the ocean and I'm right near the ocean. So for me, I'm having someone at 3:30 help me at least board up the north of my house and the south of my house, because the east and west is pretty protected because I'm in a zero lot and I have a carport. So I kind of know how my house and how things fly around. So I'm getting some of my windows and stuff shuttered up and I'm going to hunker down.
Hunker down. And where are you? You're in North Palm Beach, aren't you?
I'm in West Palm Beach, but right by the intercoastal.
So when is the storm going to hit us, Linda? It starts tonight?
No, well, tonight, very, very outer bands because of that oblong shape, that weird shape on how big it is.
Yeah.
Those very, very outer band storms are going to start maybe approaching about 6 p.m. along the coast. Just, quick moving storms in the front line, the outer band cells moving around that very outer band. The main part, closest to West Palm, I would say about 7 p.m. tomorrow night. That's the closest it approaches West Palm. I fall, I would say, between, depending, if it stays on that track, 7 p.m. is pretty close. So I'd say 11, 12 o'clock possibly, and I fall if it's West Palm. Maybe if it's up north more, you're talking more between 12 and 2 in the morning.
And they were talking about 75-mile-an-hour winds. Is that doable? Is that possible?
That's doable. Oh yeah, that's doable because
See, that's the
you
problem.
have it's definitely doable, and you got the hot water, and it's going right over it. It's right currently at 9 miles an hour going over that. So I don't play with that.
That's the biggest problem because anything caught up in 75-mile-an-hour wind can become dangerous.
Yeah.
Flying debris, things of that nature.
And what I explain to a lot of people, because they're newbies, a lot of newbies. I have so many new followers and all newbies to Florida, and they just haven't been through this. 18 years. It's been 16 years since we had Wilma, but 18 years since the West Palm or the Palm Beaches, where I was in the eye wall for many, many, many hours with Francis and Jean. Granted, it was a Category 3, but and or 4. So it's a little bit different, but we don't really know with this system how it's going to generate between the Bahamas and here. And I'm not going to take those chances that it could be a stronger Category 1. It very well could do that in those few hours, especially if it slows down a bit. But I try to explain to people that, because we get that in afternoon storms. We get those kind of winds in afternoon storms. I'm like, yeah, but not for 10 hours of
sustainable.
pushing and pushing. That's what goes, and all the branches break and the power lines go down, and then you're without power.
Yep.
Totally different story when you have that constant pressure.
It's true because the weakest point of your house, condo, whatever, weakest point of here, whatever the weakest point is that you did not take care of, you is about to find out the weakest point. That's the part I hate about this. So that tree that you didn't prune, is that a word?
Yes. Trim, prune, yes.
Trim, and all of a sudden the branches are falling off it, and you're here saying, wow, I should have taken care of that. That window that shakes because you didn't have it caulked or fixed, all of a sudden that thing pops because 75 miles an hour over time, 10 hours, that's a lot of wind.
A lot of stress,
So
absolutely.
you think about it, could be F0 to F1 tornado that you're in. If you're in the eye wall, you're in that type of spin of basically that same pressure as a F0 tornado, F1 for so long. That's the difference, and that's what I try to explain to people. The closer you are to that eye wall, everybody's not going to feel that. So a lot of people poo-poo these kind of storms. Oh, we didn't get anything. Well, some people did, and I just want to make sure I get everybody prepared just in case. That's my whole goal.
And I got to tell you, you're always right on accuracy. Do you remember a couple years ago? But wait, a couple years ago, that storm we were looking for a direct hit, and Linda said, but there is this possibility that it's going to scoot up the side of Florida and just not make landfall. And you were 100% correct.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were at the radio station. I remember getting a phone call saying, you're not going to believe this, but we're not getting a direct hit. It's actually going to skirt the state. And you had told us. So I always listen to what you have to say. We just got to get more of you out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How are you feeling other than that?
Fine. Get my knee back in order and would be nice.
You're like a bionic woman.
I know. I went to therapy yesterday and the guy goes, wait, what? How much? Oh, you're doing good. I go, but just fix me to where I was before. And then he goes, well, how were you before? I said, well.
It's all relative.
It's all relative. Yeah, so I go, I want to dance, but I have to hold on to a chair if I do that. And he's like, oh, we'll get you doing that again.
It's hilarious. All right, Linda, stay in touch with us. You stay safe, honey. Thank you so much for the update.
I will, you too. So nice to see you guys.
You
Nice
as
to see
well.
you.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Linda wobbles, but she don't fall down.
What an amazing woman, I got to tell you.
She's good stuff.
And
I
she
gotta
does
tell you.
all of this by volunteering, but due to some health issues and concerns that she has, she does all of this out of the kindness of her heart.
She
from
used
her
to
home.
come she used to come ever so often to the studio, and every
We'll get
time
her
she
back down.
came was another storm.
Her and the dog.
Her and the doggy. Well, she's on the second dog, though, right?
She is. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Frank A. Ruffolo joining us, author Frank Ruffolo, and a surprise guest for Freddie. So stay tuned. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I don't know why he plays that.
Just to see what you're going to say.
I hate the Eagles. He plays.
He loves the Eagles.
I'm going to bring up the Jets theme song.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Please get out and vote. Polling places are open, I believe, until 7 o'clock. So
7 on the nose.
get out early before we may be getting some rain and some bad storms here in Palm Beach County. So get out, let your vote and your voice be heard. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up on today's show. We've got author Frank A. Ruffolo, who was on last Monday night on Tell Us Your Biz. And at the end of the show, he said, if you want to learn more about my world, give me a call. And I said to him, well, I want to learn more about your world. We've known Frank a long time, and every time he comes in, he gives us a little bit more about his world. Apparently, there's a vastness to it. I even brought this book back in that
A vastness.
that I've had at home.
Did you finish it?
No.
Oh, I'm taking it because if we're going to be shut down, I need something to read.
Well, that's why I'm taking it back home. And then you've got your good friend Irving Rodriguez joining us. And Coach Irving.
Coach Irving.
Warren, you were coach also, right? You were coaches together?
They asked me, what is Irving's last name? I go, I don't know.
He goes, Coach?
Coach Irving. That's the first thing I asked. Coach Irving, that's all I know.
Where do you want to start?
Whatever you want.
Want to say hi to Coach?
Say hi to Coach.
Say hi to Coach Irving. This was one of the greatest stories that about a month ago, Tracy, we call her new mom, Tracy Latome of Connections with Tracy, who seems to know everybody in the South Broward area, had a show, and she brings in this guest. She brings in Irving and his lovely wife, and you were at the radio station still, and I'm meeting them and talking about the Bronx and being in the police force and all these things. And I'm thinking, how do you not know Freddie? And they go, where's he from? I go, Pelham Bay. And your wife looks at me and says, how do we not know him? But you were a little on the side looking at the Rock'em Sock'em robots that are still there. Serpico has not yet taken them. So I guess he doesn't hear the conversation. And I'm texting you, how do you not know these people? Because it's just way
I didn't know
too
what the hell you were talking
coincidental.
about. I did not know what she was talking about.
So Irving's sitting right where he is, and Tracy's sitting here, and she's doing an interview, and you walk in, and you sit over there in the back of the theater, and you're looking, and then you get up and you walk halfway over to the cameras and you're still looking. Now Irving is very intently talking to Tracy, just like this. And I'm watching you and I'm watching him. Now his wife is watching you, and there's this great triangulation of everyone watching.
No, his wife.
Except Irving.
Did you see what his wife said?
What?
She said, did Irving put this guy away? And I'm not packing. She would have shot me.
And then all of a sudden you get closer and you look at him, you go, Irving? And you got to say it a couple times. He looks at you, and I think you might have even taken off your hat.
I said, Coach Irving. And he's looking at me like, who's this guy? Who is this guy?
Nah, I was just in total shock. I knew who it was, but it was so shocking that I couldn't even get a word out after that.
It was like 19, 20 years ago.
Yeah, over 20 years ago.
Yeah. And Coach Irving was there when we did the Warriors. He brought in the winning trophy.
Yep, here it is.
That,
World champions.
And you sent me a picture of all of us the kids wearing their green jerseys, and I had hair in the day.
Well, yeah.
Very depressing.
You must.
Not for me. I never had hair.
You didn't have hair then either?
Nah. I think I lost my hair at 25.
But Freddie keeps talking about what a career you had. Amazing.
You know, Irving, I don't know if it was you or there was another undercover cop on the team who arrested one of the parents whose son came to play for me at Pelham Bay. I don't think it was you. It might have been the other guy.
No, it wasn't me.
So this parent, I went to their house because I didn't know what happened to the kid. He stopped showing up. And this was my 12-year-old. You were allowed 2 12-year-olds on your 11-year-old team. Back in the day, it was a rule. This is one of my 12s, him and Mata. And I needed this kid because they were the muscle. I go to the house, and the house is all boarded up. And there's no key, there's no kid. The championship game, the kid and his father show up for the championship game. And there was a big stink about it because they're saying, well, he hasn't been here. It doesn't matter, he paid. It doesn't matter, he could have been on the injury list. He's allowed to play in the championship game. And this kid won the championship game. He had 2 doubles and we won.
But his dad got arrested?
So check it out. One of the parents, and I was thinking the other night, man, was that Irving? One of the other parents was a cop, and he arrested this parent for drug possession. And he had to serve some kind. I must have been a minor deal because he was gone for like 3 months, whatever happened. I didn't ask. I didn't care. I wanted the kid. I told the parent, you just go over there. But it was that kind of involvement that we had in the community. You know, Coach was out there. We used to play football and everything else.
You guys coached the same team? You were together?
Yeah, Freddie took me in. Freddie was the main coach. He was the head coach, and I was his assistant.
Wow, that is so unbelievable.
We had so many assistants.
And then you guys just lost touch for 20 years.
I moved. I came down here, stupid me. I came down to Florida on it's just not even worth mentioning. I came down and I lost touch with all my coaches. You know, remember Hildy, remember all the coaches. But it was amazing to watch the kids growing up and how disciplined they were. Max, you know, and I put him as center, and he was the smallest guy on the team.
Your son?
Yeah.
But my goodness, the strength and the heart of this kid. I said, Max, don't let nobody get past you. Okay, coach. Boom. And he did it. It was just that whole thing. You know, Dawn and I argue because Dawn is a firm believer that every kid should get a trophy. And I'm a firm believer that if you deserve to win that trophy, all the effort that went into winning that is never easy. Yet, there it is. And every kid that comes forward deserves a shot at winning the big deal.
It's funny because we've talked about your trophies, and you still have some, but
I got
Michelle,
hundreds of trophies.
Michelle took
Hundreds.
some, and others you don't have
No, I
anymore.
got them all. I got so many trophies. There's a room dedicated to the trophies. I don't know what I'm going to do with these things. They're all that size.
Don't bring them here. Katie, please don't bring
We
them.
can put them up there. We can move them around.
Right? He brings everything here. You can put them up there. You can line them all
I
up
can line them all.
there.
I
There you
got
go.
hundreds of trophies from Freddie and Gio. And Gio was on that team, wasn't he? Or was it Freddie?
No,
was Freddie?
Freddie was on that team.
It was an amazing,
Yeah, Freddie, Shulas.
amazing squad. That was
Like
an
when you
amazing
guys look
squad.
back and you look at the kids, because they were 11 years old, your son, you see these adults. Do you feel like this much time has passed?
It's scary to think that. I mean, Max is 30 now, you know, and you think about when he started, he was like 9. Well, I remember Max, me saying to him, okay, you want to play flag football or regular football? He goes, which one can I hit people? I said, regular football. He goes, that's where I want to be.
He was a
And
hitter.
then,
And
and
that's
then
what you guys
Freddie goes,
coach?
oh, you want to hit people? No problem. You're center. Right?
That's what we did.
But what a great career you had in the police force. I mean, you told some stories. You were undercover and
Yes, I started my career in corrections. So I was in Rikers Island in the 80s. And then I went over to the police department and I did maybe 18 months. And then after that, I was an undercover for 4.5 years until I got promoted again to sergeant. And then I was back in uniform.
Now, it's funny because 4.5 years, Irving used to tell me some of the craziest stories. I used to cringe because I used to say, my goodness, what kind of job is that? And he did it every day. I was just talking about Serpico, and in Brooklyn, he was in Serpico's office, right? You were telling me?
On the 3rd floor, I had somebody said, oh, that's a famous office, Serpico's. I was like, oh.
remember we had that author in, Michael Solomon. I think, Frank, you met him. And he was undercover at the 3-4, and he spent so many years undercover, organized crime, and all the things. It's amazing to me how all the men and women who put their lives on the line and raise a family, and every day you want to go home to your family. It's not as if you're doing this and don't have a family that you're going home to. It's amazing what they do.
Now, they kept you out of the Bronx, in Brooklyn, Queens, or they put you in the Bronx as well?
I was in, I did the Heights in Manhattan, and then I did
Surprising.
Brooklyn North. And when I got promoted as a sergeant, I ended up in the Bronx. So I was doing things like.
What precinct were you at?
None. I was
You were just in
organized crime
Florida?
again, but in the Bronx.
So you had your own task force? Is that
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I had my own team that we did investigations, and a lot of them are really close to home, Freddie. I mean, like even the park that we used to play in, I ended up buying a gun from there. So it was scary to know that, our neighborhood was pretty quiet.
Right in your neighborhood.
And to know that things like that were going around, it really puts another perspective on your life.
Well, you had East Tremont, which was a hot zone.
But look where you guys grew up. But this is the area that you were undercover with organized crime, and you talk about it all the time. But here you are actually seeing the crime,
Right.
living it, working it, knowing that your family's there, your kids are there. It's like, right, it's not as if you're living in one neighborhood and then you go, oh, I'm going to deal with crime someplace else, not near home. This
Right.
is your own backyard.
Yeah. And then where we're at, there was hardly ever anything. The 4-5 precinct, basically nothing really happened.
The Pelham Bay was quiet.
Yeah, Pelham Bay was.
But when you hit East Tremont, I had that restaurant Azul. I don't know if I knew you. And I had Chase and Soir, the club, over underneath the L on East
No.
Tremont by Pelham Bay.
What was the name of it?
Chase and Soir.
Nah.
And what about Azul? Azul, the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you knew Azul?
Yeah.
I owned that for a little bit.
I did not know that.
And the kitchen fell apart and I left. I sold it. I said, I got to get out of here. But those were hot zones. And the projects also down at the end.
Yeah, we only had one set of projects. That was
That's
it,
it.
all the way at the end. And
East
they were
Tremont.
very small. Most people didn't even know it was there.
Kips Bay, I heard that area wasn't too great either.
Nah, Kids Bay wasn't good.
You know, Pelham has changed, they tell me. There's a lot of stuff going on up there now because they are picking the better, they're picking the better neighborhoods where less people are notorious to do and stuff. So
But, you know, look at what's going here in Delray Beach, and everything is being built up and regentrified, and I'm sure they're doing a lot of that in the areas of New York.
they are, but they aren't.
Really?
It's different.
Different than here?
The problem here is that all the drugs somehow have to pass through here to be distributed. So, you know, and because they legalized medical marijuana and all that, the drugs have gotten harsher. It's just a fact of life. But I knew a few undercover cops. Irving was the only one that I picked as a coach because I said my maximum is going to be one.
So when you're undercover, do people know you're undercover? I mean, obviously the people out don't, but you knew he was an
I
undercover
knew.
cop at the time?
Michelle, I didn't tell anybody because his life is on the
That's what
line.
I was gonna
You
say. You
can't say,
couldn't
right,
say
yo,
anything.
undercover over
Yeah,
here.
you can't, right?
No, you can't do that. And some of the stories he told me, I didn't tell anybody. I've never told anybody. And it's his story to tell, not mine. But if they knew Irving as a cop, that's one thing. As an undercover, is something else.
Yeah, it was weird because a lot of times, depending on what I was doing at the time, I was either dressed like high end or I was dressed like a bum. So it depended how I came into for coaching. If I came straight from doing a job, and Freddie would look at me and be like, "Change your shirt or something." Put a warrior shirt on. Do something. Comb your hair.
It's really incredible how young you guys were, and you had the kids, and doing this on the side and volunteering. That's even more amazing, right? You're working, you've got jobs, making a living, and then on the side, you're being coaches to all of these kids, and you were coached to all the other kids because you had told me you always had the boys at your house.
It's funny because I would have loved to bring in Michelle Mata and Mata. You know, they live down here.
Oh, yeah.
We saw them up in the other studio.
In a couple of years.
A couple of years, and you know, Mata ended up pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies, and he blew out his arm.
Did he
at
really?
Tommy
Did you
John.
tell Josh that?
Yeah, I must have. He blew out his arm.
Now he knows.
And Mata was the catcher to our baseball team, and he ended up being the athlete. He ended up playing in Australia, winning championships. I used to follow him, and then he finally got picked by the Phillies to play, and he blew out his arm.
Should have a little Warriors reunion.
Yeah, yeah. Now, it's funny because there was a story that I always told everybody, that there was a parent. We were losing to the Bears by 2 touchdowns. I think it was 13-0. And there was a parent that came up to me. I tell you this story all the time. That's the parent. And he says, Coach, you know, I want to tell you, I want to say thank you. It was a great season. And I look at Irving and I said, this ain't over. We winning this game. Feed him the hot chocolate. Remember they had brought out all that hot chocolate and donuts? And it was freezing. It was, you couldn't feel anything. Everything was frozen. And we won. 14-13, we won that game. But that was the day that Irving says, thank you, this and that. I said, we ain't done yet.
He told us the story. He gave everyone candy and hot chocolate, and he got these kids so riled up on sugar. Is that true?
Yeah.
Of course. Katie, have some sugar. Like, things don't change. That's a bucket full of candy.
Well, you know, some of the stories I tell people, they don't believe me. You know, I remember when they stripped me from my Little League club because I brought Shulas into the Condors, and they got upset at me, so they took away my team. And we were playing against some of my Condor players. And one of the coaches called me, that was the team that I lost, to come, how do I pitch to this kid? And I'm running out there. Freddie was catching. And I'm screaming, don't pitch to him. I didn't even get past the fence. And he's a grand slam, and they lose the championship game. I said, ugh. But a lot of stories.
A lot of stories.
A lot of fun stuff.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, more Down Memory Lane with Freddie and Irving. We're going to talk to Frank. Isn't it funny, Frank, how your books are even in alignment with Irving?
Small world.
It's a small world.
And Frank knows Mick Bazzouli, who's coming to see us too, another small world.
All right, stay tuned. That TV's crazy. We'll be right back.
What's wrong with
When
it?
it comes to investigative
We're just very
services,
big.
you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are 2 good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese, and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. They actually just signed Edwin Diaz, highest paid reliever in the majors history. 125 million, 3 years or 5 years or whatever.
You ever coach baseball?
Yeah.
You coach baseball too?
We had the Condors, we had the Pelham Bay.
You guys coached everything.
Well, that's what you did in the day, right? Yeah. I was on the field 5 out of 6 days.
Amazing. Frank, ever coach?
No, never coached. Played softball, but never.
We've got our good friend Frank
Were you
Aberfold
good?
joining us.
Softball? Was a pitcher, yeah, it was good.
Are you a fastball pitcher or slow?
Height.
Height? I did that 1 year and I messed up my arms and I said, I'm not doing that. I went to fast pitch. We used to play that too. We played everything. It was craziness.
So we got Frank joining us. We've got Irving joining us. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show that last week Frank closed the show and says, if you want to know a little bit more about my world, give me a call. So I said in the beginning, I want to know more about your world. The interesting thing about Frank is he came to us as an author. And his books and his writings are always about things that he must channel from the heavens in the guides. But then there's always more. He does anointings. Frank's a healer. So many more things. Right now, I think we need more healing as well.
I want to know how you and Mick Bazzuli know each other. You were telling me the story. He
Facebook.
won something.
Facebook.
But he
Talk
won
a lot
something.
on Facebook.
What was it he won?
I have 10 books, and all my books have novel pages on Facebook. So when they reached 500 followers, I randomly pick one of my followers to win a book. And my Stuck in Traffic page just reached 500 followers last week, and I randomly picked Mick. He won.
And you've never met him?
Never met him. We talk a lot on Facebook, but we never met.
I know. He says, I love you to Frank. I'm like, Jesus, how well do these guys know
They
each
know
other?
each other.
They know. They just met. He was saying that your books are brilliant. That's what he was saying.
Good.
Irving's going to take one home or he's going to buy one. Maybe you can get a signed copy while you're here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm already eyeing one of them.
Which one?
10048.
Of course.
Yeah.
See, how do you like this coincidence
You
there?
see that? And I was born in Washington Heights, and his wife was born in Washington Heights.
Yeah.
Almost on the same block.
On the same block.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? 186?
Maria was born 171 in Audubon, maybe 172.
Yeah, and I was born in 220.
I live on 186 on Heights on Laurel Hill, which is, what's the first street? It's not Audubon, it's the second street.
Yeah, I forgot the first street. It's in between the two. I forgot the two. The one by the water.
Yeah.
That's Laurel Hill Terrace, right?
That's exactly. Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
know
right
Laurel
over
Hill?
the bridge. Yeah, you go over the
Yeah.
bridge.
You
and
made
it's
me
on
a
the
little
right-hand side.
nervous that you know Laurel Hill.
Yeah, I know Laurel Hill very well. Treated
There
me
was-
very well.
There was always bodies found on the hillside. They used to come pick up bodies.
Yeah.
It's
used
true,
to-
right?
Oh, yeah. Used to go, oh, man, there's another one. Let's
There's
go look
another
for
one.
it.
Oh my, I feel like I'm watching that TV show, you know, the Marissa Haggerty, the spin-off, Law and Order, where he's always
I
undercover.
was born in the hospital's not there anymore, but I was born in the hospital. Mother Cabrini Hospital was on the hill overlooking the polo grounds.
That's right. That's right. My sister works at 168 Hospital, Presbyterian? No, Columbia Presbyterian.
Pres- yeah.
Mimi works
That
there.
hospital's not there anymore.
Editor, we've never seen Frank so casual. I have to ask, why the change of look?
Hey! That's three different.
Just
I don't want to wear the
hurricane
same.
look.
I want to wear the same hat all the time, so I just came in with a different hat.
It's his hurricane look.
He comes in, Irving, he looks like Freddie. Sometimes they're wearing the exact same outfit. Shirt, hat, the shoes are always different. Frank usually has boots on. until he comes in a baseball hat and T-shirt. His T-shirt is his books.
I was going to wear my safari hat, but my wife said, no, you can't wear that safari hat.
Look, she's shaking her head no.
What's wrong with the safari hat? He's an author. Authors are
He's more than an author, though.
eccentric.
He's a healer. There's so much to you.
It depends the day of the week.
Yeah, I started my writing career because I was told, well, me and my wife were volunteers at an apparition site, Marion Apparition Site in Hollywood, Florida, from the late 1990s to around about 2015, somewhere. It lasted about 15 years. The visionary passed away, so she was older and she got sick. She passed away, and I was told by the visionary that on my shoulder was Archangel Uriel, who was the who if you see pictures of Uriel, Archangel Uriel is always carrying a book, and he's the archangel of wisdom, God's wisdom. So, and he's the archangel of writers and journalists. So I was told that Archangel was always on my shoulder. He was my buddy, I guess. And we used to get thousands of people used to come to the apparition site. In fact, the Hollywood police used to close the street, because there used to be 2,000-3,000 people in front of the house wanting to hear the message from the Virgin Mary and wanting to hear the message from the visionary, and then she would bless everybody. So she picked a few of the volunteers, because there were so many people, we were given the gift of anointing with the Holy Spirit, and I had to go out and be blessed. So I went to Monsignor Bosco, which he's now runs the seminary, and for the Catholic seminary here in I think in Delray, or somewhere up in Palm Beach area, and he blessed me to anoint people, and that's how I started. And then my writing career started there. Gabriel's Chalice was my first book, and that's the events leading up to Judgment Day, and how that plays out. And there's 3 books in that series. The next book is 25 years after Judgment Day, and the next book is 1,360 years after that one, which ends with Xantha Terror. And
now
then
you were giving this vision with something else in mind. They wanted you to go out and share what you experienced, obviously.
I could only assume why I was given that. So that's part of my world. That's what I do. I became a writer. I put a lot of my messages that are given to me in my books. I sort of tell everybody the difference. I sort of display the difference of good and evil in different genres, from murder mystery to action to faith-based science fiction.
What
But
were
all
the
basically have
messages?
same
I
message.
have to ask you about the messages of the Virgin Mary. Different than the messages from the visionary?
No, the visionary would give the message from the Virgin Mary. The visionary is the one that would
That would
give the
interpret
message. The Virgin Mary would come to the visionary, and then she would give the message.
So what types of messages?
If she
Because
would
it was
repeat
more than healing, I'm assuming.
What type of messages? Wow.
Pick a day.
Were they?
It was messages. You've got to pray. You've got. She gave us messages that bad things are going to come. You're going to pray. She told us that there'll be one day that you need to set up some place in your house to show your appreciation and celebrate Jesus and God, because they're going to close the churches.
And they did. Just gave me the
She
chills.
had a vision. She had a vision. She told us a vision. This was back in 15 or 16. She had a vision. She said, I had a vision last night of 2 towers are on fire.
Wow.
Now, the two of you share what you went through, correct? Do you talk about, do you get a set of messages? Does she get a different set of messages? Do the two of you talk about the messages? How does that come about on an everyday deal?
My messages?
You and your wife. Because the two of
My
you
wife
seem...
gets messages. You get messages? No.
She doesn't?
No.
So you share what you're feeling with her?
Yeah, when I get a message, most of the messages I get are in my books.
So
And,
you write
I've
the
had
message.
visions. I mean, I've shared those. I mean, I had visions of the. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I realized what it was afterward. That morning before the attack hit, I had a vision. That I woke up, and the vision was there was a tree, and then the tree, in the back of the tree there was a cloud, and the cloud came and engulfed the tree, and then engulfed this fence, and then I woke up. And I said, what the heck does that mean? I said, so then I went to work. I was working, I was in purchasing manager for a major company down here. And then everything broke loose on TV. We came home early, and then at night they were showing videos in New York City of what had happened. And one of the videos that they showed was this tree at the end of a street, and then when the tower came down, the smoke came down the street and just engulfed that tree and covered up the camera, and I went, wow. That's what that vision was.
It's coming, Irving's like, wow. And then you're coming to terms with the vision. I told you a vision I had the other day, and you said to me, why are you looking? And it's not that I was looking. Sometimes they're not always good things you see. So now I try not to see the bad things, and I have you in my head going, you say the same thing. Don't look. Stop questioning. Just don't always look for certain things.
I have gotten visions before the war, before we had Desert Shield.
Mm-hmm.
I had a vision of tanks going across the desert. And I woke up and said, what the heck's that about?
And you don't know. And you were able to write it all through your books, which is remarkable.
Yeah, so I put it all in my book. So whatever messages now, most of the messages that I get, I put them in the sci-fi books, I put them in the book, so.
You ever want to open up a healing center like the one you and Christine used to go to?
I'm not gonna do that for money. That's
A lot of work.
That's not how it works. I mean, when you see the people doing it on TV for money, think it twice about it.
You and I talk about that a lot.
It changes the
Yeah.
message of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
I'm still fascinated by the fact that you get these different messages to write about. And you're 5 books deep that your wife still hasn't even looked at yet to start editing and everything else. The messages, stuff doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So more things are coming, more intriguing things are coming, more decisions, for lack of a better word, are coming. And to get the voice out so people begin to understand, you're going to have some choices to make.
We're all going to have choices to make.
But people don't understand what that means. People think that choices are, do I get a quarter pounder with cheese or do I get a Big Mac? No. And they think that this is going to blow over and go away. No. And they're going to be on the safe side without making any kind of sacrificial changes in their lives. Because it impacts all of us, doesn't it, Frank?
It impacts. What's going to happen is we're going to have to make a choice. Our souls have eternal life. We're just here on earth for a very short period of time, but our souls last forever. So once our time is up here on earth, and nobody's leaving this earth alive. So once our time up here on earth, our time's up here on earth, we're going to have to make a choice. We're going to reside forever in our soul. It's the zip code you want to reside in is what you're going to have to.
Well, you're going to have to make a choice on how you want to
live your eternal life.
Yeah,
Not just here, but how you want to live your eternal life.
It's funny you say that because I look at Irving and I say, you picked to be a special type of cop. And you never knew when you were coming home.
Nope.
You never knew if you were walking out that door was the last time you were going to say goodbye to your kids. Some of the stories that you've told me, I've never told anybody. I go light a candle for Irving because there ain't no coming back from some of the stuff that he told me. And he has a choice. He doesn't have to do that. He could have been anything he wanted to be. And he's a smart guy. He has a store and everything else now. So he had a choice. So I look at what you're talking about, and I looked at what the decisions that he's made. I can never do what Irving did.
Me neither.
You know, and the funny thing is that there's a fire or a bad scenario, he's running into that. Remember, we talked about this.
Yep.
He's running into it. Everybody else is running away from it. So choices are running into that fire. You're going to have to make a decision one way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent.
The only trouble is everybody's going to be running into that fire.
Oh, and it's funny because a lot of people I don't think are ready to handle truth.
Yeah, but don't you think some of the things that we're going through, we're going to go to commercial break for the top of the hour, the hurricanes, the storms, the fires, the plagues, the diseases, all the things that we've been going through the past 2 years on even heightened more alert going into 3 years, may be part of Judgment Day, but not the way people think of Judgment Day, but in our modern day sense of, we got to clean this up, guys.
It's all leading up to.
Okay.
All this stuff is going to happen leading up to.
So there's more.
There's a lot more.
There's more. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. On the other side of this hour, maybe we can pop in some music of J.C. Dreesen. She says her show is still on for tomorrow in Pompano Beach at the Herb Skolnick Center. So hopefully the rain will let up and you can enjoy it as she pays tribute to the veterans of our great nation. So that's tomorrow night at the Herb Skolnick Center in Pompano Beach. Tickets are still available on Eventbrite. We're going to take a commercial break. Maybe we can play her song before we come back. We'll see you in a little bit.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to stephaniejaffeart.com.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now, you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
When you wear Zamboni Couture, you can feel pride knowing that you are supporting a small woman-owned business. We advocate for women's empowerment and always embracing feminine freedom and equality. Our fashion is all about style, quality, passion, and color through the use of amazing fabrics to help you find your own individual style. Let us inspire you with beauty and color. Follow us at Zamboni Couture on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or call us at 561-860-6099.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Melody, I hear that haunting melody. It's in my every. It says we'll never part. Can't you see that we can spend eternity? Our lives were really meant to be together from the start. No one else could fill my life with ecstasy. No one else, it seems, could make me care. What is left is just a memory. It's so empty and so unfair. Melody, I'll write another melody, and this time from the start you'll see I'll write it from the heart, and words that say Come to me, come to me, stay with me. Won't you stay with me? Stay with me.
I need more space. Do you remember when you and I first started out and we moved to WNN? There was a radio room that was this big, and the table was about this big.
And you hated
And you
it.
said to me, "This is our new studio," and I said, "No, this isn't going to work for me." He says, "Why?" I said, "There's no room." He says, "But you're all of 5 feet tall." I said, "Yeah, I need more room." I was here. You were literally there, like in arms, right?
We were sitting next to
And there
each
was
other.
someone here, and then there was someone there, and we had this much room. And now I sit in my chair, and I look around, and I need more room. How come one person needs so much space?
She found this place, and I stood around. Now, imagine this place empty, and you see it now full, but when it's empty, you look around and go, this place may be too big. Now I need more room.
And now I'm sitting here in my chair going, I need more room. But we got a lot of great things to talk about. The music you heard on the top of this hour was the beautiful voice of J.C. Dreesen, who has a show here, fingers crossed, this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. She does the J.C. Dreesen show. She's got an amazing voice, but also Thursday night, tomorrow night. It's the 9th. It's tomorrow, right? Thursday.
All day.
Wednesday, November 9th. She plays tribute to the veterans at the Herb Skolnick Center, $15. And as she says, Salute to America Veterans Day concert. It is still a go. So that's tomorrow night, and Thursday night,
Until
hopefully, it'll be a go as well. I
Until
know.
it ain't.
We'll see right now. That is what she's saying. You can buy tickets at Eventbrite. The music you heard was Melody, and that's one of her originals. Also, if you are a golfer in the area, I feel like I'm like giving, at church or something.
Yeah, turn them tiles. There you go.
Sunday, November 13th is 1 p.m. Shotgun at Indian Springs Country Club, and it's to benefit the youth of the Boynton Beach Police Department, to keep the kids safe, to keep them off the street, to give them youth programming and raise funds. So if you like to golf, check this out. It is support of the Bill Tomei Foundation, and he is back in charge of PAL, bringing the youth together. They just could not find anyone to take his place, so they brought him back in, and what a nice man. I know, that's what I'm thinking. You play golf?
A little bit.
So maybe you would like
Harry,
to do
you should
this.
run the PAL.
First responders and civilians raising funds to support our local youth. You can find more information at the Bill Tomei Foundation, and that is on November 13th, 1 o'clock.
Now, Bill Tomei was a famous name, right? He was
Mel Torme.
Mel Torme.
You're close, though.
What was a Tomei? I thought they were bringing.
Irving, is this what it's always been like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I thought it was.
We call those Freddieisms.
Mel Torme?
And the scariest thing is I know what he means. That's what's even more
Very
crazy
scary.
is I actually know what you're going
You're
with
scarier
this.
than me. Mel, Phil, cousin, brother, same difference.
But I actually know what you're talking about. And for those of you that are wondering, December 1st, what's going on? 6 radio stations, the true oldies, are going to be combining their Boca Raton studio and their Northwest Palm Beach studios. So all of the shows you see here at night from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock, and the cafe as well is going to be airing on 6. We got 4 FMs, an AM, and an HD. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, we
We have a
got
phone call?
Irving's son. Just
Thank
bring
you,
him
Bailey.
over.
Is Josh around? He left? Oh, all right. Well, you guys will have to figure it out. If not, we're gonna bring him on a VMix. Thanks, Bailey. So we'll check that out also. True Oldies Station 95.9, 106.9, 95.3, 96.9, 1470 AM, and now HD for the new cars that aren't going to be having AM anymore, 103.1. Can you imagine ever a time when there wouldn't be AM radio in your car?
I don't.
Right?
I don't understand why they are taking away the AM radio.
You used to tell me about your car that had no seats in it. Bet you had an AM radio, though.
It's funny the things you read.
He tells a story that his first car had no seats. He had crates.
It's true.
And he would drive wherever you drove.
I have a Ventura, and the guy put 2 milk crates in there. He says, you gotta go buy seats. I went and bought seats.
I've never. Did you have an AM radio?
I had no radio. It had no radio, no seats, no nothing. It was a red interior, white Ventura, and I went to the junkyard and I bought some beautiful seats, and they popped them in there.
So that is hilarious. So coming December 1st, 6 radio stations, which is really, really exciting to broaden the reach and to get out to more and more people.
I went to Crazy Eddie's on Fordham Road. Remember that guy? Yeah. He was actually there. No. Yeah, I went with Ruben and Juji. And we went there and we needed a radio. We were kids and we didn't have that kind of money. So this Crazy Eddie guy was there and he's screaming at the top of his lungs. It was when they opened up the Fordham showroom. Remember the big one they had down the hill? And he gave us a deal. He says, how much money you got? I think I had $200. The radio was like $800. He says, you know what, give it to him. Well, we're not putting it in, he told me. Just give it to him. So I was on my milk crate, got my radio. I got my radio before I got my seats. How you like that?
I figured that. I am not surprised. That's why I knew you had an AM radio with no seats.
We had AM and FM, but thank you for playing.
Nice.
And we had the cassette slip. And you put a cassette in there, not the 8-track, where you put a cassette to hear the music.
I tease him all the time that he's a real life John Travolta movie. The things that I only learned in the movies, you actually lived the life.
Space Odyssey in Queens, you've been there.
So hopefully we're going to get that phone call. If not, I'm going to ask you, maybe you want to go bring that phone call over. We have someone else joining us, but she's anonymous. We met this lovely lady who was actually a Mary Kay representative at a wonderful networking event we went to last week. So we're going to bring her back one day and see what's going on. But I love that she came up to me and just opened up the conversation. 17 cars? She's won 17 cars by working with Mary Kay for over 30 years.
What do you do with a car? Do you sell it? What do you can't
I guess
keep
you drive
17.
it.
And
But
then
how
you
long
gotta
does it
give
last
back?
for?
You got to give it back.
Every 2 years it must be. Wow.
That's a nice deal. If you win every 2 years, get brand new wheels.
Are they always pink? Not anymore. I remember when I lived in Dallas, because that's where Mary Kay started.
You sold Mary Kay?
I didn't sell it, but you could see everyone who was part of it. I mean, this was back when Chelsea was born in the 90s, 30 years ago. All the pink Cadillacs that would drive through Dallas, you knew exactly who they were. You didn't
Don't
need
they have
anything
the
on it.
names and stuff on the car? They're on the car, Mary Kay, whatever.
Mary Kay, but no name.
No.
No, but it says Mary Kay. It's like, you ever notice the guys that win the lap car from the Indianapolis 500 or some race thing, and you know they drive around because check me out, I won this thing. They got to give it back, but they sort of did that. Same thing with Mary Kay.
You used to sell Mary Kay, didn't you?
I was married man.
I'm telling you, I don't think there's a job you haven't had.
Not too many.
How'd you do selling it?
I was the #1 in the city of New York. When I worked for the union, I used to work for a union, so I had the inside angle. So when they gave me the shirt that I was a Mary Kay man selling, it blew up. They blew me up. They took advantage of that thing, boy. And Michelle was who I was married to, and Irving knows Michelle. And we worked at the union. We had like 60,000 people, so I just went through the union.
It's incredible. You know, the amazing thing to me is that, how long has Mary Kay been around?
We're having our 60th anniversary next year.
60th anniversary next year, and it's still around, and people are still making great money, making people smile, great makeup, great ideas, great pricing, and it's still around. And I think people copy. There's so many direct sales companies that are copying now, but Mary Kay is definitely
still numero uno, and their products were the best.
Yep.
They were the best back then, and there are some very expensive products, don't get me wrong, but Mary Kay's always been the staple. And
Christine, ever buy Mary Kay? Yeah, I tried to sell it for a while. Did you? It's not easy. Direct sales and selling is not easy, but, oh, they have a whole men's line Friday.
Do they?
Look at that.
You see, they got hip to the game.
See that? It's pretty amazing to see how hard people work to do what they do. I think I manifested Sharon. I have an empty bottle of foundation. I thought, who am I going to get to help me with this? And I've been having the empty bottle on my dresser for weeks.
Is it? What happened? You fill
She
it?
appears. I don't know. I didn't know how to get another one. And then here she is. I know. I made
we
you laugh.
got to meet her at an event with Pastor Bill.
Pastor Bill, which was a great event.
Which I was so motivated in doing this thing. We bought a table. For January, we'll have a table there.
Maybe we'll bring Frank with us.
Bring Frank, we'll bring Irving. Irving could represent his store.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, we have 2 seats, we have 6 open, and we want to bring in friends and people that are in the business world to see this thing, because we got a front row seat, and it was the most amazing thing I have ever seen, because this gentleman, Frank, it's a lot like I hear you, and I hear things that I've been saying for so long, and I always thought I was the only one. So Pastor Bill came out with his deal. He came out with his whole thing and cried and everything. This one went up there to give him a tissue because he was crying to death on some of the story. And I know the story because I've heard the story from other people. And this deal was so moving. And the way he delivers is so clean and to the point. And I think about what he said up there, and I kept bumping this one saying, because a lot of questions, don't ask, just do the answer. So we filled out this piece of paper.
Imagine going to school with me. I would have kept your homework very neat and nice.
And this is yours. This isn't mine.
I know, but it's still the same questionnaire.
And this is the paper now that I give to people. And I wish it was blank. I'm going to ask him for a blank one because he's coming to visit.
It's a great event. Actually, next Wednesday, we get the pleasure of interviewing Pastor Bill and his wife, Elizabeth, on their story in her book and their journey and how they both inspire so many. So if you're around next Wednesday, they're going to be here on the 12 o'clock show.
And if you can get somebody to watch the store, I guarantee you, it will not disappoint when you meet this gentleman. Now, December was sold out, so I couldn't buy a table because I was ready to buy. So I bought January, and I'm going to buy February because it was over 300 businesses and people were involved in this thing, which in itself is amazing. But the way that everybody trades business ideas, it's the house that I wanted to build here. So I walking into this place, I was amazed because everything that I've always wanted to do here, now, we shut down after 3 months of being here. This was supposed to be a house just like what you walked in, but there was supposed to be businesses in here, 20 at a time, maybe 5 days a week, and everybody got together to do this thing. It's what we agreed to do. And we never got the chance because of COVID.
And now we do.
Well, now we do. Now we're bringing it back. So I invite you guys to come next Wednesday. I invite you to go, I think it's the first Thursday of January. Is when they hold that event. And it was almost sold out. There were only 2 tables left for January.
Guess you got to get February too.
And I do that.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to go check our phone lines. I think we have a caller. Maybe you can help them bring that over.
Okay.
More to come. Stay tuned. Pastor Bill's going to be here on Wednesday. Frank, hopefully you'll be here. And a whole lot of fun. And Friendsgiving. Unfortunately, you guys are going to be out of town, but we're going to open this up. We like to do this every year. We have a Friendsgiving where everyone either brings a side dish or a dessert. Freddie and I bring the main dish and kind of just a way to say thank you, to bring all of our friends because you are all our family. We wouldn't be at 1.1 million on Roku without you and all of your support for over all of these years. So more to come on that information. We're going to post that as well. Stay tuned, 888-994-4995, and we will be right back.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions. Expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay, her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444.
Coffee News is a fun, family-friendly weekly publication provided free to restaurants, coffee shops, and waiting areas for customers to enjoy. Grow your business today through the power of effective, affordable advertising. Coffee News is an active marketing medium specializing in the ongoing weekly promotion of your business. This builds awareness for your company so you become known as the leader of your industry and develop brand awareness so people think of you first when they want your services or products. Maximize your visibility and achieve outstanding results. For more information on coffee news, contact Sunrise Coffee News at mail.com or give them a call at 954-951-7870.
Ever needed a good read? Maybe a book to keep your mind off things. Frank A. Ruffalo is an internationally known author and accomplished screenwriter. He's written many successful novels with amazing stories. Fiction adventures like The Lady of the Harbor, The Trihedral of Chaos, Gabriel's Chalice, 10048, and many more. For more information, visit www.frankaruffalo.com or you can find Frank Ruffalo on Amazon.
Bright, bold, beautiful. Audrey Omart creates artwork pieces that make a statement in any room. Using ethically sourced material, these handmade artworks are made in collaboration with divine higher power. This unique method gives vision, passion, and energy to every piece. Find Audrey Omart's work at the Brooklyn Cafe Studios or audreynow.com. Audrey Omart, art that opens the heart.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solutions Center. With your insurance, you may qualify to get a new CGM right now at little or no cost to you. By wearing a small remote device, you can immediately reduce the painful finger sticks. They're accurate, easy to use, and help you make better diabetes treatment decisions. If you take insulin 3 or more times a day or use an insulin pump, I want you to call right now and take advantage of our free shipping offer.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Let's go to 5 and 6 because I'm anxious to see if
we got it over.
If Max is on there. Max, are you there?
Here.
And he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
I'm here.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing, Coach?
I got to tell you, he sounds like a grown man. It's so weird to hear it. Hey, Braxton, come out here for a second. You got to turn up the speaker.
15, 20 years later?
I know. I hear you're cutting stone down here.
Yeah. I'm doing kitchens, a little bit of cabinets, a little bit of home remodeling.
It's funny, when I came down here, I was doing the same thing. I was telling your dad that I may have a couple of people for you as a client that are looking to redo their kitchens.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
What's the name of your company?
00 Granite. 00 Granite.
00 Granite. And Frank, what's the name of that book? What's the name of that book you have right there? The zip code? Oh, 100. Thank you very much. Done.
We're going to up your medication. So, Max, how do you...
You wonder how my brain works, yeah.
Max, how long have you been down here?
13 years.
You like it?
I don't see myself going back to New York.
Yeah, I know.
He answers you like Freddie would.
They're the same. Him and Freddie are the same. They're millennials. They're the same.
That's the same answer your son would have given you.
The same. The same. He's Freddie's age, as a matter of fact. And your daughter's older, right?
We play football together.
Yeah, Tabby's 35.
35. It's funny because my son, for some reason, he says, Max who? All I remember is, no, it wasn't Freddie. It was Gio. Gio says, yeah, he had that beautiful daughter, didn't he? I said, no, we're talking about Max. No, forget about Max. It's the beautiful daughter.
Well, Freddie, I think you should have them all over your house for dinner and put Freddie and Max back together and have a whole
Absolutely.
event.
I'd like
really
to bring
fun.
them to the country club and we can come and have dinner at the club.
Yeah, sounds good.
You guys can.
Yeah,
and
sounds great. You can meet my kids.
How many kids you have?
One.
Wow. You're a grandpa?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Grandpa 3 times over.
Yeah. Gio's getting his second. I'm going to be a grandfather 4 times now.
Oh, okay.
Knocking on wood.
God bless. Wow.
I know.
So Gio has 2?
Yeah. Well, he has 1 and 1 on the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Freddie has 2. And I hear a rumor that Freddie's going for the trifecta.
Wow.
So it'll be nice to see Max. And your daughter's down here too?
Congrats to Freddie, man. That's awesome.
I know.
Not for nothing, but if you see Max's son, my grandson AJ, you will put him at center right away.
Really? Short and stocky? Wait till you meet
He's stocky.
Wait till you meet Freddie's younger boy.
Brecken?
He's like he walks around like this. He walks around, what is he, 2? He walks around like a little, forget about it. Gonna play football. He just runs through things. Crazy. It's like your son Max was.
Yep. What was it, Max? What kind of football you wanted to play? Flag?
Tackle. Hell no.
And it's funny because
I want to hit somebody.
That's what they was. Always hitting people.
He's just like Freddie.
They used to love hitting.
Oh, my God. You live in Boca?
Yeah.
We definitely have to get them back together.
We do. We got to bring Max in. We got to bring that whole tribe in.
That'll be a whole lot
Maybe
of fun.
bring in Mara, bring in all of them. They used to all hang out on the same street, play wiffle ball and everything else.
And Max, you know that Mata went, Mata went to the majors.
Yeah, Chris Mata. He was playing for the Devil Rays, I think, no?
No, he was playing for the Phillies. Unless he got traded to, I don't know if he got traded, but he was playing for the Phillies.
He came up, because I remember seeing it, or that he came up. I believe he came up with the Rays, and then maybe he went
He's probably right.
to the Phillies after, but yeah, I could have sworn I remember seeing him for the Rays.
He's probably right.
How cool is that?
It was funny. It's funny to watch these kids, and you finally get one out of all of them, because everybody played ball. You get one to hit the majors.
You know, there was one kid that always stood out.
Mata was a little older than me. I want to say he was a year or 2 ahead of me.
Yeah, he was.
Remember Moody?
Who?
The brothers Moody.
Yes.
Did he ever be?
I
because he was
adopted the
incredible.
Moody brothers.
Huh?
I adopted
I was the running
them.
back.
I had to adopt him. His father went to jail.
Oh.
I never told you the story.
No.
It was the 2 Moody brothers.
No way, I didn't know
Sneak
that.
peek into Freddie's life. Wow.
Yeah, the Moody brothers lived in my building. They lived on the 3rd floor in my building. And I went to see them to go collect the rent. I said, where's your father? And they said, Dad ain't here. I said, what do you mean? So I knew cops and everything else. I found out he was serving time. And the kids were alone. So I adopted them. I said, come here, you're going to go stay with me. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to do this, this, and that. I took care of the apartment and everything else. I didn't know what to do with them, and they had nobody else.
Oh my
but the Moody brothers, now that kid was good enough to go into the pros.
Yeah.
He was that good. And because of his father's knuckleheadness, I think they became wards of the state. I don't know. I try to keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
Forever.
Can't do that for other
Damn, I always thought whatever happened to him because that kid was special.
Unbelievable running back.
Yeah.
And the younger brother was going to grow up to be just
that
like
was
his
definitely
brother.
a man against, amongst boys.
He used to say, just give the ball to
What
Moody.
he played.
Yep.
Good players,
Yeah,
man.
just give the ball to Moody.
But I had them in my building. I had them in my building for 5 years. I think I kept them for almost 6-8 months on the down low. And somebody must have ratted me out because they were taken away and never to be seen again.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. I love your stories.
The
And
way they
bringing
come
the
out,
guys
right?
together.
It's just like...
The amazing thing is that you're all here. And I know you came here under different circumstances. And now the boys are all here. And you can all have this whole great reunion. And now all the grandsons will be able to play together. It's like you get to do this again on a different level.
Well, we used to practice 3 days a week or whatever the hell it was.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You got to see the kids every day. They become part of your life. And the stories, man, the Moody's. There's a picture. Remember the restaurant underneath the L? There was on the corner. There was a restaurant there. And the Moody brothers had a birthday. So I took them to eat a steak dinner. And they had never gone to a restaurant. And it was Frankie, it was Freddie, it was Gio, and the Moody brothers. And the owner took a picture. And if the picture's still there, I don't know, but they put it up in the restaurant. So the Moody brothers used to say, "That's my restaurant." I felt so horrible. I never knew they'd never been to this. And Frankie will always tell you, shrimp in a basket, that's the inside joke to that picture. Because Frankie wanted shrimp in the basket. I said, "No, you're going to get steak. Relax." But we did a lot of stuff with the kids. There was a time I think when we won, we had the pizza party on the street where that big pizzeria was over there.
Louie and Ernie's?
Louie and Ernie's.
Yep.
Flat pizza. They loved it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hated it.
It was right down the block from your house.
They loved it.
It was straight down the block
Yeah.
from your house.
They used to go buy pizza all the time. Flat pizza. You like flat pizza?
No,
You do?
pizza.
I like the crusty ones, big ones. They spent a fortune. I think I individually made Louie and Ernie's numero uno in the Bronx because they went every day. Bought
They all
5
did.
pies. It's
They all
crazy.
did. Because at the end of the
I
week,
went
you
to
got the
school
bill.
You remember my backyard when I had when I redid it and I had
Oh, your backyard was awesome.
with the bridge and everything.
You had
out?
the bridge, you had the pool, you had the jacuzzi.
We
You
had
know,
fun.
he talks about that all the time, and we think, are these all really true stories?
Yeah, you had a
Apparently, they're all
bridge.
real stories.
The Can-Do bridge.
You had a bridge. You almost put a toll on it.
Can-Do bridge.
You had a bridge in your backyard?
Can-Do, you know, my brother-in-law had a few problems, and he came out from school, and he says, you know, he used to call me Tio. He says, Tio, what do you want me to do for you? Because I sort of did something to help him get him out of that thing. And I said, I want you to build a bridge. So I gave him a book, a how-to book. And he followed the book. And the next thing I know, 3 weeks later, there was a bridge there.
What did it connect?
It was underneath. I made a fake water fountain with a lion's head like this, and there was a water fountain underneath. The water would come out, and you would go over the bridge around the pool. So I felt so bad because I didn't pay him. He did it out of the goodness of his heart. So I made a plaque, and it said the Kenn bridge, the Can-Do bridge. And it was there until they bought the house and they had to tear it down because I never got permits for it. But you remember the bridge, right? You remember that I had the bar and everything and the lights? See, I wasn't making this stuff up. There's living proof.
Remember when you put the jacuzzi up and you thought you just had to plug it in and didn't need an electrician? Remember that one?
That was a different story. Thank you for bringing
Have you
that
seen my lights out there?
No, we moved the jacuzzi from the bottom. I had to put it on the deck.
Yep.
So a guy that I knew, he took a rope and put it around this tree.
The Bronx style.
He attached the rope to the jacuzzi, and I drove his truck up the driveway so that it swung into place.
Bronx style is like a little different than Kentucky style, I think. New York style's got a style of its own.
Man, but it worked.
Yep.
Right? It was up there.
Jacuzzi was up there.
You're so funny. So, Max, you'll have to stop by the studio. Maybe they can come by for Friendsgiving.
Absolutely. Come on down, Baba.
Absolutely.
So nice to talk to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was good to talk to you guys, too.
All right, Maxie. Well, I'll see you, Friendsgiving. I'll talk to your dad. We'll send you the invitations and stuff.
Absolutely.
All right,
Max.
sounds good. Looking forward to it, Coach.
All right, bye.
All right,
All right.
glad that.
All right, Max Rooney, love you.
Love those stories, Freddie.
Love you, too.
How old is your
That's got to be Bailey or Braxton?
Bailey. We had a 50-50 shot of who that one was. Was that the thing on top of the refrigerator that fell?
The freezer.
There's a couple. They're trying to give me nervous breakdowns today. Have you noticed the
Yeah.
theme between the wires and the this,
Mhm.
the and the that?
I got some bad news for you.
What?
This week I'm throwing more wires. Well, there's a lot of wires coming.
I know. We gotta hook everything up. But it's all good. It's all good news.
It's all fun.
You know,
Oh, my birthday. You were there. The time that I got so drunk, I couldn't find people's names. You were there.
Yeah.
You were making fun of me. Because you were saying, Coach, how you doing there? You were sideways. That was my 40th? No, gotta be my 35th birthday was something.
It was a big one.
It was a big one, right?
We initiated the bridge.
I remember you were there.
That's the integration.
You were the one that was making fun. Kept asking myself, who was the guy making fun of me in the back deck? It was him. Now I remember. Yeah, it was her. Are you drinking? I was polluted.
not anymore. We don't do that anymore. Now that you're a papa, times 4 almost, we need
No,
5.
I thought you meant I don't have a back deck.
It doesn't happen anymore. Nope, you're all older, more mature now. You're not so much.
I remember. Irving was there. I remember that. All those, there was a lot of women there that day. Michelle invited all her friends over. Irving was there. The kids were there. And the kids used to run all over the house and outside, so they were never a problem.
Yep.
Had a lot of fun in that house, man. A lot of stuff happening. And then I saw Irving, my first deal, my first house, that was Joe's house, I sold it to Irving.
Your father-in-law.
Yeah. I had that house for 16, 17 years. I had it.
It was a great house. Beautiful. Did you take the whole house or you rented?
No, I rented part of it.
How big was the house?
3 family.
Wow. Joe had a 3-family house?
And he lived in the basement, and we rented out the other 2. Because Joe was cheap, man. It was like this. So he wanted to make money living there, which he did.
That's a whole nother world. That I have to tell you. It's a whole nother world. Frank, how old were you when you moved to Florida?
How old? Oh, we moved here in '79,
You
so
already grown.
There was nothing but cow pastures out here.
yeah, there was nothing down here in '79. Yeah, we moved here in '79, so I
What's
was
the 70s, the cocaine?
31.
I was talking to Pastor Bill's wife. She moved here in '75. They moved to Boca. Well, I guess he had been in Boca. Probably.
They probably know you, Frank.
Elizabeth said that she moved here in '75. There was, imagine, nothing in Boca. There was nothing anywhere in Florida then.
There was nothing.
79. I moved to Florida in '72.
I moved to Florida in 2006.
And you made a wrong turn and you stayed.
And I was supposed to make a left. I made a right. Ended up in Tampa. I came down here to build a mall. And all I did was run into problems from the beginning to the end on that thing. And millions were lost. Never should have come. I should have stayed in New York.
And on that positive note, you need some Mary Kay? But you know what never ceases to amaze me is everyone comes in here. When you walk around town, everyone does what they do. You see people, right? We see what people look like on the outside. You have no idea what their stories are on the inside. And one of the greatest things that I get to do here, for me, is to learn people's stories. And not just that Irving was a cop and now he owns Gyroville, but truly the stories and the people and what Frank does. And then Sharon told me a bit of her story, and I'm so glad that Frank is here because I know that'll be a nice spiritual connection as well. How it always just works behind those yellow walls.
You know, it's funny. Yesterday we had a show with Steve and Lynn because Sally has laryngitis and she couldn't come on the set. So Steve, her fiance, they're getting married next month, comes in here and he does a deal, talks about Sharon, about Sally. With Lynn, the author. Lynn is the guy that you should meet because he teaches you how to write a book. And, you know, he's right up your alley. I don't believe in coincidences. And they do this thing, and we're sitting here, okay, you know, show's over. Right? Then I wake up, they had over 2,000 hits on that show. And I'm like, where the hell did this come from? I said it to you this morning. I said, what is this? And apparently what they were talking about must have affected a lot of people, or people were looking for Sally and everything else. You never know. You never know what the stories bring. You never know what putting 2 people together can be like. I mean, we're a perfect example.
Yep.
I didn't know Irving from a hole in the wall. They came out and we had a draft, and I drafted his son, like I drafted all the other players.
But there's always a reason, and you still coach these kids in a different way, but our crew and the people, the kids that we bring in from other schools, you're still always coaching them and teaching.
But we always had a motto with Pelham Bay that, you know, I was the only kid that drafted the black athletes. I had a couple of them on the team, the Moody's.
How can that even be a thing? That's the amazing thing, that was a thing.
The Moody brothers, and I got to get the second brother because I drafted Moody and his brother. Were on the board, and I took him. I took him number one, as a matter of fact. I took them. I took the shortstop, the other kid that was black also. I took him, and it was a thing. All the players came, and then everybody wanted to play for our teams. That was the interesting part when it came to the draft, because we had some of the better athletes, and man, these kids were good. You didn't give them a chance. It was on you. So I got to learn a lot.
You got to do a lot, and now you own Gyroville in Coral Springs.
Yes.
Totally change of conversation.
Yeah, total.
Where the hell did this come from?
I was in the mood for a gyro. I couldn't find one over here. So so I bought one.
But gyro, I can see maybe rice and beans. I can see Latino. I can see, I mean, Irving, you're Latino. I get it. But gyros?
I like gyros.
They wanted lunch today. We got to order lunch.
I've never seen anything to do with a gyro in New York. Is this like something you put together, recipe?
No, what happened when I was on patrol in the Bronx on Fordham Road in Morris, there was this gyro place, and it was like one of the best. It's like a staple. It's still there. Then when we moved to Florida, I'm like, damn, you know, I'm missing a good gyro. So I checked in Coral Springs, and there was one place, and it was like 7 miles away from the house. So I was like, ding, 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 here we got a business. Yeah, we're like, oh, we got a business here. So I started researching online, and I found the founder of Gyroville, which is from Astoria, Queens, and all his recipes are his mother's recipes. So basically, we just replicate his mother's recipes. So that's where you get that old school taste from.
And how long you been doing it?
We're on our third year.
30 years, the gyro king.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get him the crown from the back.
He reminds me, remember Papaya King in Manhattan?
Oh, yeah. You know, the last one's closing now.
Is it?
Yeah.
In the Manhattan on 34?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Papaya King. Frank, you know Papaya King?
I've heard of them, yeah, I remember it a long time ago.
$1.50, you got a hot dog and a papaya drink. I don't know how the hot dog and the papaya, you know, go together, right?
That was a papaya drink, yeah?
Yeah. You always got a papaya drink with your hot dog, which made no sense, but they've been there forever.
Hawaii that started that whole thing. But Papaya King was the joint. So you go into gyros. Now, how many different types of gyros do you sell?
Well, there's only one gyro, but then we also have the grilled chicken, which is marinated with the founder's recipe, and falafels, which that's a staple there.
The falafel.
Oh, yeah.
You know what a falafel is?
Falafel.
Falafel.
No, falafel, that's the chiclete that your mother used to show. Falafel.
Falafel. We used to do falafels in New York. Here, the falafels.
Okay.
That way you
We're
can
going to get you into Mediterranean food yet.
I can't believe, you know, here I am, when I heard he had a restaurant, I said, well, it's going to be like either food, little panini, not too bad.
Falafel, I know. How do people find the restaurant?
They find it cozy. My wife was the one that actually decorated it and put it the way it is. And people walk in and they feel like they're not in a restaurant. They're like homey. They feel like they're home.
Does she cook?
Both.
You cook?
Yeah.
We got to go get some footage. We got to go film.
Where's it located?
1750 North University Drive in Coral Springs, right next to Big Bear, Jersey Mike's, and Rita's. And Rita's is also a good place. If you guys ever
10 minutes? 10, 15 minutes from my place?
Yeah.
So you're in the same street in New York, now you're in the same street in Florida. What the hell? You guys know each other.
Yeah, it's crazy because
I don't know. His son's granite business is the same numbers in Frank's book. I don't know what to tell you.
What the hell? You guys know each other.
Frank,
could
how'd
be
that happen
in a
again?
different world, different life.
That's the amazing thing what always happens in this studio, right?
Well, Frank always has that effect. When he comes in here, things happen. Just move the hurricane away.
All right, any predictions on the elections?
No, no.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get into that. No,
This is a toss-up today.
You think so?
The only thing is, I know that DeSantis is going to win by a lot.
And that's not a toss-up.
Everything else is a toss-up. No, you know that, I mean, I love Charlie Crist, don't get me wrong, but you can't keep the bull from doing what he's done. And you got to flip your hat a little bit, because a lot of the stuff that he ended up doing, he's getting credit for. So.
See what happens. Get out and vote, everyone. And Frank, how do people get your books? Because they get more and more intriguing. Frank's stories get more intriguing every time.
They're on Amazon under my name, Amazon. When you go to Amazon, just put my name in, and I have my own page. Or you can, if you're all the fans of Brooklyn Cafe TV and Fred and Dawn, if they email me at frankarofolo@gmail.com, you'll get special pricing.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, Mick is coming. He says, what do you mean he's up there? Yeah. He says he's going to come up. He's going to let me know.
And
Good
hopefully,
ones.
that's gonna be tomorrow.
Are we close to the next book or not yet?
Yeah.
We are close. We have to have a book signing or something for the next one.
Let's do it. Talking about seminars and a whole lot of things. Missionaries.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about that time. We got the radio station straightened out as to where that's going. So that's been a 6-month hitch on trying to figure out what we're doing with that. So we're good to go.
Moving straight on a great path. All right, everyone, please get out and exercise your right to vote. Whatever it is your right. Go out. Use it wisely, as I always say. Wish wisely. Stay safe. Anyone who's in Florida, if the storm is coming, it's going to impact everyone with at least wind and rain. Stay safe. Get your houses hooked up. Do what you got to do early, not later. Be prepared for the tornadoes like we saw. And if anything, just have some fun. Hug your family. Kiss your kids. And we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Hopefully, don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.